Welcome to my Flosstube number 2. I just want to start by saying thank you to everyone that watched my first video, to everyone that subscribed, to everyone that commented, to everyone that watched. Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind words and your support. It really means a lot to me. If this is your first time here, this is a channel about cross-stitching, and I hope you enjoy it. So this is the second time I've done this video because I messed up the first time and I don't know how to edit yet. So here we go again, and I'm cutting it shorter than it was. I showed a lot of charts, old charts that I came across that I plan to stitch, but I think I'm going to keep that till next time because I have a lot of other things to show you, and sometimes it just can be too much. So we'll start with a life update. As usual, not a lot has happened. I have a few health issues, chronic health issues that keep me at home a lot. I have a heart arrhythmia that means I can't drive alone. So I usually wait till one of my daughters or my husband is free so that I can get out and do some things. So in general, I don't live a very exciting life. Last week, my daughter and I went out to a place called Gardner Village, which is a really fun kind of historic place that has these boutique type stores and a big silo with a restaurant attached to it, and they've made it just a really, really nice environment with a river and a bridge, and you just don't feel like you're in the city anymore when you're there. And so we had fun going around the shops there. She loves antiques and loves the antique store there, and I love the chocolate covered wagon, which has handmade chocolates and candy, and I always pick up my favorite dark chocolate salted caramel fudge. So we had a lot of fun there. I went to my LNS 2 days ago, and as always bought too much and bought things that I really didn't need to have, but I will share that with you. I got to talk to my youngest brother in Scotland over the weekend. We hadn't talked for a few months, and so we had a nice 4-hour chat, which was really, really fun. He has had to cancel 3 trips over here in the last 2 years because of COVID, and he's hoping to be able to come at the end of March, beginning of April. So we are keeping our fingers crossed that that will happen, because I haven't seen him for 10 years, and I miss him. I miss both my brothers. Anyway, so basically today I will be sharing, let me look at my notes, a finish, WIPs, UFOs, haul, and some plans. So let's get started with the finish. And because I already had stitched it, or got stitching on the brain, because I had already filmed this, I'm not as organized as I was before. So let me try and find what I'm looking for. Oh, here we go. So this finish is Sweet Liberty by Mill Hill Buttons and Beads. And this is it. I enjoyed this a lot. I had never stitched on perforated paper before. I found it a bit of a challenge because, not on the paper, but you do the beading last, and so when you're stitching you have to leave all these gaps for the beads, and I messed up a lot. But it all came together in the end, and I really like it. And there isn't a project I do that I don't mess up on anyway, so I don't know why I'm acting like that doesn't happen. I keep looking in the wrong place, and I apologize for that. I'll try and look into the camera. My focus piece this week has been Lady of the Thread by Lavender and Lace. And I messed up a lot on everything this week actually, so I had to unpick a lot, but I did make some progress. And if I can figure out how to put a picture here of the previous progress I had made or where I was before, I'll do that, but don't hold your breath because that may be beyond me right now. So this is what I've done so far. Mostly I stitched this part. And over here is filled with confetti, and that's what gave me all kinds of problems. And I had to unpick and restart and unpick and restart. So this is stitched on 18 count Aida, which is the called for fabric, and I'm using DMC threads, which are the called for threads. The rest of my WIPs are Christmas. And this is a new start, actually. I started this one last week. And it's by Silver Creek Samplers, Christmas List. And I am loving this one. This is what I have done so far. It's a quick stitch. It's fun with all the different colors. So I really enjoy it. And this fabric is 18 count Aida from dovestitch.com on Etsy, or she has a website, fabricflair.com. And I can't remember the color, but I'm really enjoying that. This one is almost done. Let It Snow by Shannon Christine. I basically just have to do the lettering and some French knots. And if I was to do this again, I would do it on a darker fabric and a larger count. This is tiny, but I think it's very cute. This is Silent Night by Country Cottage Needleworks. And this is my progress. I'm using just DMC threads. This fabric is by dovestitch.com or dovestitch.com on Etsy or fabricflair.com. And it is smoky blue dyed effect. And I really like this. 18 count Aida. Quaker Christmas 2, Songs of the Season. I'm stitching this on antique white 18 count Aida, and I think I was over here last time, so I stitched this area. I'm using just DMC threads. 815 is the red, but I can't remember the green. I love this one. I'm really enjoying all of them. And then my last WIP for now is by Little Stitch Girl by Plaid Tidings. And I'm starting on the greenhouse. I don't have a lot done here. This is by fabricflair.com or dovestitch.com on Etsy again. Okay, so that's my WIPs. That was my finish, new start, and my WIPs. What I talked about last week is when I do the Dimensions Gold kits, which I really like, I've learned that you should, or I should, do the back stitching as I go, because if I don't, they tend to sit there and never get finished. And so I came across quite a few UFOs that, sorry, I'm looking in the wrong place again, that are sitting there waiting to be finished. And some of them don't have that much left to do. So I'll show you what I've got going with those. This is a Dimensions kit. I can't remember the name. If you have any questions about any of these, just please ask me in the comments and I'll try and find the information for you. You can see on this side I've done some of the back stitching, but on the other side I haven't. And I love this. I love the colors in this. I just need to finish the back stitching. This is Memory Lane by Dimensions Gold Collection. And again, I've done back stitching over here, but not on the other side. And I have a feeling there are a lot of French knots that need to be added to this one. I'm not very good at French knots, so. This is another Dimensions Gold collection, and it's called Majestic Peacock. I think this one's almost done, except for some French knots again. And I really like this one. I changed the fabric out on this. I think this is an 18 count Aida. But all the floss and everything was from the kit. This is a lavender and lace that's been sitting there for a long, long time, waiting to be given some faces. And anyway, I don't think there's much to do on here because lavender and lace doesn't tend to have a lot of back stitching. I just put it down one day and didn't pick it up again. So those, oh, and I have this one. This is actually a little bit sad. This is by Friendship Sampler by Hillside Samplings. So you can see over here, this was stitched in the year 2000. And you can see the initials above the homes. At the time I lived in a yellow house and my friend lived in a red house. And I moved away from northern Utah to southern Utah, where I spent 16 years before coming back up here. And I stitched this for my friend after we left. And unfortunately, she just was somebody that wasn't that good at keeping in touch, and we lost touch with each other, and she never got this. And so now I really, really like the design, but I don't know what to do about her initials there. Maybe I should just frame it anyway and remember the friendship that we had for quite a while. So those are my UFOs. And part of my plans are to pick one of these up every day, maybe, and at least do a length of thread to try and get these fully finished, because some of them are quite close. So I will show you my haul. My local needlework shop is the Craft Center of Fine Stitchery, and it's just lovely. They're so helpful. it's just wonderful to go through all the charts, but also to see all the finished projects that they've got done, which is so inspiring to me, because quite often I'll look at a chart and not really care for it that much, and then I see it stitched up and it changes everything. So here's what I got. Oh, before I go there, sorry, I told you I'm unorganized. I do have a bunch of FOs to show you. I told you last video about the very first time I came across stitching, and it was actually an embroidery piece that we did. My friend and I both bought the same piece. So this is going back to the 1980s. And so this was my very first project. Families are forever. I think after all that time, it deserves a frame. I need to really get serious about fully finishing things, because I do have a lot in frames. And as I said last video, that we're remodeling our entire house. And so we don't have anything on our walls right now because everything needs to be painted. We're knocking walls down, we're doing all kinds of things. And so most of those things are packed away. I think I'm going to be able to get some that I'll be able to show you over the next few weeks or the next few videos. But most of them will have to wait at least until the main floor of our house is finished. So once I did that embroidery piece, the next thing I did was, and I know a lot of you will be familiar with Gloria and Pat, the Precious Moments charts. So that was my next step up. And I did a bunch of these, which were easy and a really good way to practice. And when my youngest daughter started cross-stitching about 5 years ago, she does it sporadically, she doesn't do it all the time. She chose some of my charts to start, and she's done quite a few of these. So I did that, and then I did this, and many others. And then a few years later, I did this one by Gloria and Pat, and it's a big one. Noah's Ark. I think this one was done, I know my oldest daughter was maybe 2 years old at the time. So this is about 21 years old. And then I went on to Lavender and Lace. I love her designs. I still love her designs. And I've got a few of those framed, but I also have a few that I did that haven't been framed yet. Surprise, surprise. And what I used to do is just go to the craft store and pick up a piece of Aida and stitch on it. And I didn't think about, this needs to be framed, I need extra fabric. So a lot of these, there's not a ton of extra fabric. I think this is Earth Angel. I did a lot of her angels. So that was fun. And all this around here is the adhesive left behind by masking tape. And I can't remember what this one is called. But that was a fun one. And I've seen one or two ladies, I think, on Flosstube that are stitching this one right now. And I did this one a long time ago. This is Enchanted Alphabet. I think this is called Little Wings. Again, these last few have all been lavender and lace. And I think you can still get most of her charts. I know she passed away, but I think you can still get most of her charts. And this is the last FO today. And this was a gift from my best friend in Scotland. She's the one I started cross-stitching with. This is Celtic Cross by Cambriana Designs. They're a Welsh company. I love the colors in this. So that was fun. And I mentioned last week about how I should look on Etsy and see if they had Scottish charts, and I did, and I bought a few. So now we can get onto the haul. And I'll start with showing you the PDFs of a few that I bought. So this one is, let me look and see. I've lost my notes. Anyway, I found it on Etsy. I'm sorry I had it written down, but when I restarted the video, I lost my notes. This is the national flag of Scotland, which is a blue background with a white cross. And I found this design, which I think will be really fun to do. Here's a wider view. Sorry. And then I found, this is called Glasgow, Scotland, and this is my hometown. And so it shows you all the main points of interest in Glasgow. The River Clyde, the Armadillo, Glasgow University, the City Chambers, the Art Gallery and Museum. So I think that's quite fun. And that's only 6 by 6, so I think it will be a relatively quick stitch. And then I bought a chart that I've been looking at for a while. I had some green even weave fabric that I've had for 20 years probably, that I just didn't know what to stitch on it. And this one is going to be perfect. I'm so sorry for the glare. This is Autumn Town. Oh, I can't remember the name of who the designer is, but the green in the background is the fabric showing through, so I'm excited about that. Excited about finally using this fabric. So those are my PDFs, I think. And now we'll go on to what I got at my LNS. So this chart it was stitched up and just is so pretty when it's finished. This one here by the Cricket Collection. It's called Rest and Be Thankful. I like the design a lot, but part of the reason I was drawn to this is because there's a place in Scotland called Rest and Be Thankful. And whenever we would go up to the north of Scotland, we would always stop here. So that's partly why I got this one. But again, it's beautiful when it's stitched up. So I got that. This one was stitched up also. It's called Autumn Jumble by the Drawn Thread. And it's very, very nice. And it's quite small. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And this is a winter one. It's called Forest Snowfall by Country Cottage Needleworks. And it says, while snow is softly falling, gliding gently to the ground, our neighbours from the forest cozy up and gather round. This is Mill Hill Buttons and Beads, Valentine Heart. And Waxing Moon Designs, Valentine House Trio. I did their Halloween house trio and really enjoyed it. And these are quite small, so they're relatively quick stitches. And this one was stitched up because I wouldn't have chosen this just looking at the chart, but it was so pretty when they had it stitched up and framed. It's by Heart in Hand and it's called Friendship Garden. And I hope that's not backwards for you. But it reads, a friend overlooks your broken fence and admires the flowers in your garden. This is from the Prairie Schooler. I've been trying to buy charts that for different seasons or different holidays. So this is Spring Has Come by the Prairie Schooler. And Farmer's Market by Toad in a Garden. And this one was stitched up, which is why I bought it, because it was gorgeous. It's called The Scarlet House, A Perfect World. And this was the fabric they used for it, which is different. But it was stitched up on this and it looked lovely. So this is 18 count linen Aida. So that was that. It's a lot between what I bought before and what I've bought now and all the stuff I have from years ago. It's a lot because I'm not a spring chicken, so hopefully I can get these stitched. Anyway, my plans going forward are just to continue doing what I was doing, where I have a certain number of WIPs going every week that I rotate once a week so that I get to all of my WIPs throughout the month. So right now there's 6 that I have that I'm working on every week, and 5 of those are Christmas, and so I think I'll keep working on those same 5 all the way through, either until I'm done with one or all the way through December, and then decide what I'm going to do about the Christmas ones that aren't finished yet. And then when I finish something, I will bring in another piece, probably. I'm wondering sometimes if having 6 going at the same time isn't too much, because you don't see as much progress on a particular project. But I do enjoy the variety and stitching on the different designs. So I'm not sure going forward what I'll do about that. I want to really get the back stitching done on those UFOs and have the accomplishment of finishing those. So that will be hard for me to do because it's not fun, but it will be really nice to have some of those finished. So what I wanted to ask is, do you guys have any recommendations for a floor stand light with a magnifier? because I'm struggling with magnification. Right now I wear those clip-on magnifiers. I've bought some desk lamps with magnifiers, but I stitch on the couch, and when you stretch the lamp over to try and see through, it always falls over. So I need a floor stand magnifier, I think, that will bend down and allow me to see my stitching better. So if you have any recommendations of what you like, what you don't like, I would be thrilled to hear what your experiences are, because I'm hoping to put that on my Christmas list this year. Another thing I wanted to do was give a big thank you to my friend Alara. She has a Flosstube channel, and she gave me a shout out on her last video, and I wanted to say thank you so much. I appreciate it very much, and I appreciate your friendship. She and I met on Instagram, and we've been chatting almost every day, and it's been really fun making a new friend. If you haven't seen her channel, go check her out. Her channel is Ilara, Ailarra, and she has a lot of fun stuff going on. She's got so many charts, a lot of heaven and earth designs, a lot of full coverage, just a really diverse collection of charts, and lots of fun WIPs going on, and she's fun. She's super sweet and super nice, and she's my first Stitchy friend, and it's been really nice to get to know her. So check her channel out if you feel so inclined. I don't think you'd be disappointed. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for the support and the kindness. And until next time, please take care. And for my friends in the US, have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope to have another video up that week or the week after. But have a wonderful holiday. Take care. Bye for now.